Alright, there we go. I got all the stuff working now. And I didn't just do what I think I did I? No, okay, good. Alright. I thought I'd have some fun tonight. At least for a little while. Give any early, people a little treat. Because there's never anybody early here. So, what the fuck do I care? That's not too loud, right? I'm not, like, blowing people's ears out, am I? I always get concerned. I have no idea how loud this is. I'll turn it down a little bit. How's that? A little bit in the mix? Alright. I decided, I don't like that you guys can't hear any music. It always bothers me. I feel like people here should be able to hear stuff too. But there's all the fucking, weird copyright rules and stuff. I mean, they're not weird. They make sense. So I figured I'd screw around with something that I have the rights to. It's not entirely my rights, and I guess technically my band can give me shit and tell me to stop it too. But this is my old band from college. We made an album on an old iMac, an old one. I'm talking, prior to the year 2000. Okay. I think a lot of it was saved on zip drives, for God's sakes. All right. The kids are today, what's a zip drive? Yeah, exactly. So, figured I'd have some fun. It's terrible. The sound quality is garbage, but whatever. Should work. I might have to turn it up, actually. Alexa, set your volume for 9. If it's too loud and blowing shit up, I'll turn it down, but I feel like fucking around with stuff today. Alright, so God, the mixer's like all over. I can already hear it, and that's like it's coming through one of the speakers, not the other, and just Now, this one was written by my buddy Drew. Now you actually will hear this song again at the very end of this album. Shit hits the fan. You better cover your eyes. I gotta give Drew credit for that line. It's one of the best things I've ever heard. It comes as a surprise. I could beg your forgiveness. I could offer you a deal. Sit still. If you go out tonight, I don't care. You can tell your friends about me, well, I don't care. If you go out tonight, well, I don't care. Go on and tell your friends about me, well, I don't care. Where the hell did I go wrong? They think I'm a bastard. I can't. And in the days of my youth. Days of his youth. We were like 19. This always cracks me up. Sorry. It's something I always laughed at. But at the time, we're like, yeah, man, in fucking high school, they shove shit down our throats. Freshman year in college, fuck those people. Okay. Now, I saw a nice little opportunity. I was looking at this morning. There it is, I think. kind of a nice little spot to make this like have a little like not really meeting up, but getting it so that like, you know, there's like a implied meetup between these parts here. So it's not like it's just one big wave. It's more like there's this like lumpy thing kind of here in the middle. I don't know why he stressed his voice that hard for that. So at least this way, like I said, I know that fucking YouTube and Twitch can't give me any trouble because technically I'm one of the rights holders. And I don't care. Now, our band at the time, at this point, was called the Jumping Cow All-Stars. And you're like, why would you call yourself the Jumping Cow All-Stars, right, Brian? And I'll tell you why. Watch, probably Mike only watching, right? That'd be funny. Because then he'd be like, I know why. You're an idiot. Anyway. He's not wrong, but... So, okay. There was a old coffee shop at the Swarthmore train station, Swarthmore College train station, called the Jumping Cow. And they had open mic nights like first Friday of every month or so. It might have been every Friday. I can't remember. You know, it might have been every Friday. But we would go there pretty regularly. And we loved it. The Jumping Cow was just something special. And, well, it got sold off. And, you know, we were all kind of upset by it. We're like, oh, dude, that sucks, man. And then they put another place in called the Beanbag. And they kept the open mic night, but for whatever reason, it was just like the vibe was off. You know what I mean? This one was written by yours truly. Said I was shout, and I think I was doing the same thing. I should have strained like that. I should just sung plain. Anyway, so the thing with the Jumping Cow was, like I said, we just really loved it. And prior to coming across the Jumping Cow, I guess I should explain that. In high school, we had a band called Mop Handle. It was me, Drew, Len, and Mike was the drummer. And when college came, you know, Drew went to Kutztown. Everybody else kind of was still local. Mike was a senior in high school at that point. And then I was a commuter for, as I've said many times, for the University of Arts. Len did 2 years at the Delco branch of Penn State before going to the main campus, you know, after 2 years. But, so Len got in with a band with Mike, with Len's neighbor, Bill. And Bill's been in here before. Who's an amazing guitarist. And they formed a band called To Be Announced. And they had a couple songs that they liked, and I'd hang out and watch them play, and whenever I could. You know, and I'd try to write some stuff, and Len would help out here, Mike help out there, you know, it's kind of like things like that. And so we were like, okay. And Drew went to school, like I said, and he's writing stuff on his own. So when Drew came back for like winter break or whatever, it was like, hey, you know, guys, I'd like to hear what this stuff sounds like with like a whole band. So we started floating around with it. And then like, well, let's try Brian's song with the whole band. And like, let's try this one with, you know, we like To Be Announced was only 3 people. Well, let's try with, you know, everybody. Let's see what this sounds like. And so we're like, okay. This is called Pendulum, by the way. That last one was Who Knows. I was very creative. I call this one Pendulum because it's got the doon 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 doon. Like, it's true. The words I say towards you, and though it may be crass, I think I'm an ass. I think I'm an asshole. I was really trying to write for Top 40 radio, right? It seems can't help the way I am, and in all my dreams I still dream all I can, and you know it's true. The words I say towards you, and though it may be crass, I think I'm an ass. I think I'm an asshole. I think I'm an ass. I think I'm an ass girl. Wait, actually no, this isn't Pendulum. What is this? Hold on, I just realized that. Pendulum's got the much more ding. Velvet, that's right. Shit, this is Velvet. Been a long time since I've listened to this. Velvet, because it's kind of, that's right, it's got the cool groove. We originally did have them switch, believe it or not, but then we switched it out as names. Neither one of them say like their title in their song. Oh, not what I'll find. And by the way, if you can't figure this out, this is all going on. Like these songs are being written actually at the point when it was becoming pretty clear that my ex and I weren't going to be lasting much longer. So it's a lot about like trying to figure out stuff. There was a lot of confused feelings between, you know, not just with how like what was going on with me and my ex, but like with what that was causing within other places in my life too, like how I felt towards people and stuff. So I'd have like weird crushes sort of like suddenly pop up, but it wasn't really because I was really crushing on them. It was more like you're someone nearby right now and I'm fucked up and I don't know how to deal with it. This is Pendulum, and you'll hear the much more boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. There we go. This is a song we like to fuck around with a lot because, like, nobody knew what the hell I was singing. And it's pretty much just gibberish, like when I thought I was high, or, you know. When I thought I was high, and I thought I could die, I swore I knew it all. Oh, that was shit. I'm drowning in the darkest reach of my heart. Shit, see, I told you it's been a long time. And I thought life was done like a swinging. I did add it into there. Okay, that's right. I swore I knew it all from the start. What the hell? Where am I going? Where the hell have I been? What the fuck am I doing? I just want to start again. Now, Pendulum we actually put, back before there was iTunes Kitties, we put it on mp3.com. That's where you would actually release shit. And we actually got a couple people download this song. I was pretty proud of that. This is actually the most downloaded song that we had, what we loaded. Eyes never die. But like I said, it's mostly gibberish, so we would fuck around a lot of times when we'd be playing it live. So, like one time Drew asked me what the hell I sing to her, and I, you know, because like, it's just, I can't understand what the hell you're actually saying. And he's like, you could be sitting there saying, the CIA killed JFK. I think the meaning of life is cheese. And I was like, well, shit, you just figured it all out. God damn it. Like I'd just fucking around. So I would start singing that sometimes when we, not that we played live a lot, but like, we would do like Bill's birthdays on New Year's, so we'd do a New Year's Eve party, and so I'd do it then, usually because I was drunk too, so I thought it was fun. We did it like Drew's girlfriend at the time, Amanda's graduation party, we did it there, little stuff like that. And so, like I said, I would fuck around. And it's funny too. We actually had like conceptions, and maybe like nowadays, since you can pretty much record shit on your phone, we could have done it. But we had like a whole plan for like probably like the first 6 songs to work as a video. Like just feed right into each other, So like one long thing. This one I had imagined part of it being like, if you walk down Broad Street, there's like a like a center sidewalk area, and I was always walking down that constantly on the way back from school to the train station. And like one day it was like really moody and miserable out, and I'm walking down it, and I was just like, "Fuck, man, this would be the perfect song to you like walking down. It's all moody and crazy." Now you probably can't hear shit of the lyrics, but because I'm not really doing it through you're hearing me over this. Don't breathe, I don't need to walk with your hand. Don't leave, I don't think I can find the will to stand. This is actually one that got me in trouble with Drew. He got really pissed at me because years and years ago, like before Mike joined Mop Handle, my ex had cheated on me with my drummer for the original drummer, Kid Nick. And needless to say, I got a little pissed off. Surprising. So I'd written a few songs, and this, when the band got back together and stuff without Nick. And I was like, I'm writing about shit that hurts me, you know what I mean? So that's what I always did. So I'm writing this, this song, and I don't remember which ones it was now. I'll be honest with you, I couldn't tell you. Mop Handle stuff is so fucking old that, this is 2000. This might have been 98, 99. So, I don't have shit for beyond that. None of the Mop Handle original songs that we were, again, Jumping Cow All-Stars was intended to be a thing where we would play we'd play some of the to be announced songs, we'd play some Drew songs, we'd play some of my songs, we'd play some Mop Handle songs. Like, that's what the intention was, and it ended up being his own thing, so that's why we became the Jumping Cow All-Stars, but the whole idea about what the Jumping Cow All-Stars were originally going to be went to, shit pretty quickly. Because we're all like, oh, I got this riff. What if we tried that one? Oh, I like this. That's, Anyway. But so I had been writing songs about the whole situation. And Drew more so than Len, but they were still pretty much close to Nick after the whole situation still. They'd still get along with him and hang out sometimes. And so when he found out I was writing songs about that situation, he got really pissed off at me. And this is before Drum Casters. And he's like, dude, you're writing songs about Nick. That's not fucking cool. He's still my friend, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, it's still something I feel, and I got to write about it. It's what I do, Like, the same thing that feeds me in a lot of ways here, which is like, I'm going to write, or I'm going to paint and do what I damn well feel like. And try to express myself and emotionally and all that stuff through here was the same going on back then. This is actually, well, this isn't, but that was before I became a painter. like full on out, So I one could argue I was always a painter in my head, but I didn't know it. Anyway, kind of fatalist kind of idea, like I didn't really have a choice in it. But anyway, the so after that whole like argument happened, I was like, dude, I'm not telling anybody, and I mean anybody, the meaning of my songs. I mean, I wasn't telling, what would eventually become my ex. I didn't tell her any of it. I didn't tell anybody any of it. She had no idea. Nobody had any idea unless you could figure it out by, actually reading and figuring out the lyrics. And most times you couldn't. Like that one, it's like, stuff like double-sided cigarette, the end is not over yet. There's all this like, and to this day I still won't do it. So don't even ask. But it was dealing with stuff going on at that time. I mean, it wasn't necessarily entirely my ex. I mean, like I said, there was a lot of stuff going on then. It wasn't just always related directly to that situation, if that makes any sense. Like there's, like I said, if you're, once you get to a certain age especially, I mean, it sort of can kind of happen in high schools too and stuff when you're younger. But once you get to where people are all in serious relationships, especially when you've got like people that you became friends with and stuff, and divorce happens and it sort of becomes like a pseudo custody battle over friends too. Do you know what I mean? Like if they got kids, obviously there's going to be a major custody battle over that, but the friends and everybody involved have to sort of, they don't necessarily have to pick sides, but believe me, both parties are looking for them to pick sides. And that sucks. And this is speaking to someone who was that dude. And that, looking for some people to pick my side and get the fact that, I've kind of been screwed over. And no, I should tell them all to kiss my ass. But the maze is slowly rising, and I'm almost out of gas. Breaking down, breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. Only 40 miles to go. So, anyway, like I said, I was singing that song at one point, and another one, Drew goes, "The fuck is that song about?" Because it is if you pay attention to it, it's definitely about conflict. And it's about, that awkwardness when you're in a spot where you feel like, okay, well, I kind of want to be rid of this situation, but at the same point, being rid of this situation makes me wildly uncomfortable. So that's like the, don't leave, I can't, I don't need to walk with your hand, but at the same point, then it's like, no, don't go. Like that kind of thing. Belongs to me and only me, Lord, breaking down. As I said, the sound quality is shit, but I'll be honest with you. For what we were fucking recording on and how we were doing it, I'm damn proud of this fucking still. Like, it sounds so silly and stupid, but it's like, it was, I mean, we were recording in a basement on a, not even like an 8-track. We had a mixer feeding into the computer, and I think it was like the precursor to GarageBand that we were basically using to take the the rough tracks and tried to mix them. But because of the way we were doing it, if it wasn't mixed going right into the into the actual like mixer, the actual channel mixer or whatever, it was ruined. Like it was just you weren't. Mike did his best, but there were a number of times where the bass was cranked too high, and it's just drowning out everybody else, And he tried his best to emphasize where he could, but it's just so much you can do. And again, since by this point that we record this, Lynn had transferred into, main campus proper for Penn State, so he wasn't around to record too often. It was like wherever we could get it, we got it done, but we didn't have much in the way of time to do it. Once he was back to school, it's like, well, that's it, we're done. Coffee cup. Back. Turn it back again. Turn it back again. I should look to see if I can see. It's probably just like background noise to you guys, isn't it? That's alright. I don't care if you can really hear it. It's really not worth listening to too much, but like I said, it's just something I thought would be funny. But it's not that funny because you can't hear it. Look at me. Now, it is worth mentioning that if you really pay attention to this, by this point too in this band, there had really become, again, as I'm going through the divorce at this point, or separation at least by this point, and we kind of had that like almost like as if we were famous rock stars, but never got famous type thing going on, because at this point now, Drew, Len, and I were definitely fighting over power. This is all blurry. That shows that. Get the fuck up. So it's like there was definitely a lot of conflict going on between the three of us, especially. Mike and Bill were trying to, for the most part, I think, ride out the wave. It wasn't really until, I guess, the battle lines kind of got really, at the time, clearly laid out. In a sense, like, it definitely seemed for a while that Len and Drew chose my ex-wife. And it was like, and they took the chance to, when Len finally went to Penn State proper, to just like, we're bolting! Poof! Certainly with me. I mean, they still were a little closer to, say, like Mike and Bill. But for me, it took a while. Like, God, it must have been 5 years or something like that till we really would talk again. And even that, it's like sort of like on that, hey, like kind of situation. It's not really a super warm all the time thing. Yeah. I will say this, like, you know, unfortunately under very bad circumstances, um, you know, we'd seen each other again last year, and it was like, you know, I missed him. It was really like something that was like, dude, I wish we could hang out more. Yeah. Could we ever do this again? No. Could I do it like with Bill and Mike if we ever wanted to figure out a way to do it? We probably could. You know. Bill and I tried to do something last year too. But it's not that we were... Like, I don't know, it was like... It was just... I was having trouble picking up on what Bill's riffs were doing and trying to get my own lyrical stuff out. But keep in mind, I'm also at the point when this is happening, I was still like in the very, very early part of recovering still in my head. So I was trying to just write anything. So it was like it didn't quite work. So I had to try it out again sometime. Take some time and just like... I think we also tried to rush a weekend too. There's other stuff going on, and it was just like, you know, we got to do this now, and I don't think we had enough time to get in the right mindset. It's also clear to me that I need to get an acoustic electric bass at some point. Partly for even in here. Now, I suck at bass. I want everyone to understand that. I'm very bad at it. But I always liked tweaking on them. Like just, you know, fiddling around with it. And when the band's equipment was all in my house and I was painting, I found it real easy to, okay, I need to think about this. I'm going to go crawl in the corner here and start fiddling on the bass, and I'll figure it out. And sure enough, like, that's what always happened. It's like if I'm having an issue with a color or something like that, I was like, all right, let me run over there, you know. We had a black and white Fender Squier bass, and this is like a carnival of noise going on here. Those those are from me, if you guys are wondering. This isn't luggage, right? What is this one? Yeah, I've forgotten what this one is. Tiptoeing, that's right, this is tiptoeing. Chicks dig it. So we, I mentioned earlier about Drew's girlfriend at the time when he went to play her graduation party. This one had her family members cracking up. Because the only part it's literally all I do in this song. It's just, This is what Drew wanted me to do. He said, dude, I want you to fucking scream. And I was like, okay, well, you know I can do that, right? Like, be a little more like liquidy. I need to change brushes too. You know what? There's a brush in here, I think, that's a little better. Let's go with this one. I haven't used this guy in a while. Let's see what it's doing. I need that was too stiff, and I'm getting rough, and I don't want that to be that rough. It's like the talking dog, you know? Like, how's sandpaper for you? Rough. It's like there's a joke. Now I'm going to change it up a little bit because I don't remember the original punchline of it. So bear with me here. But, you know, it's a guy goes into a bar and he tells the bartender, you know, hey, I got a dog that's, you know, that can talk here, you know. And he's like, so, you know, if I can show you how to talk, so you give me free drinks. And the bartender's, sure, prove me the dog can talk, and I'll give you a free drink. So he goes, all right, you know, and he says to the dog, you know, hey, how's sandpaper feel? And he goes, rough. Yeah, see? Dog. Bartender goes, come on, dude. And he says, all right, fine. Hey, Fido. And the dog looks up at him. He goes, what's that thing on top of the house? He goes, roof. See? And the guy's like, no, that's not going to do it. That's not. The dog doesn't talk. You're being an asshole. All right, so he goes, all right, fine. Give me one more chance, right? And he says, okay. So he said, and I'm going to mix this up, but he says, all right, Fido. Who is the Phillies pitcher who threw a perfect game on Father's Day? He goes, Bunning. So stupid. Jump, fall, you die. This is Drew trying to be Jim Morrison. Also sounds a lot like the extra hidden track on Undertow. You know, your color was purple then. It's good to have it about that too. Thank you for the follow. Who was that? I'll come over and say hi. I gotta get over to the right one now. That's why I can't see it. Alright, hold on. I'll get there. I gotta angle this now that I'm standing. So, you'd figure I'd be smart enough by now to figure that out. And then I'll sit down at some point, and then I'll forget to put it down so I can read it then. To quote Forrest Gump, I'm not a smart man. Alright, let's see. Did that cut the volume out for you guys too? I gotta check that for a second. It still talks, right? Okay. Alright. Sorry, I'm muting it for a second while I go in here, but I don't need to do that, duh. I want to make sure it didn't bleed over to you guys when I go check this. I guess. Now, this is Len's song, thank you. And it's pretty much a love letter to Drew. Because they were just, you know, he'd been doing this since, you know, for a while. That he wanted to write something that really, you know, I guess they found each other as friends. Thank you for the never knew. Thank you, being you. But, you know, like when they were younger and stuff, and then when they kind of got back, you know, to know each other and stuff through high school and all that, yeah. Support for sport. We support small streamers. Ah, grazie. Oh, wait, I'm already following you, aren't I? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you for being my best friend. This I appreciate it. Now this might have been the only song that did have its origin in the whole idea of what the Jumping Cow All Stars was, because I believe that was a song Len wrote for To Be Announced, and then it became one that we just put on here. I still think we should have done more songs. We ended up cutting it shorter than I think we should have. We should have at least done one or two more. We had enough at the time for like easily 2 albums. Like we just kept writing. We were always like throwing out new stuff. And again, you had 3 people that, you know, had stuff that they had already had kind of in the backlog. You know, like, hey, wait, you know, what if we did this and tried that out as a group? And it was like, then you also had just when we get together and start jamming, we'd start, oh wait, that sounds good. Let's try that. I mean, 90% of the stuff we wrote all the time was from jams. Like, it was like, literally like, okay, well, someone starts playing something, they're like, okay, wait, let me pick that up, and okay, let me drop that. Oh, you know, I had written like this one line that I think would work with that. Now, this is another one of those, like I said, it's like basically a symphony of noise. And I almost passed out like 3 times recording this one. Hold on. Alexa, set your volume for 10. I want you guys to hear this. Somebody put a crazy amount of reverb on that noise I'm making. This is luggage. And like I said, this was a symphony of noise. We pretty much destroyed one of Bill's mother's sets of cookware. We got pots and pans for all of us. Wreak havoc! It's like one of my favorite ones. Wreak havoc! As I might put a lot of reverb on there after it was recorded, so if you keep hearing this, it goes the whole song. And I'm like basically trying to breathe and sing like through that noise like at the same time. Like, I was a smoker at the time too, so. So tired from running what I can't see. I will stand, building in the wind. Now, it wasn't when we were recording this, but before we came up with this part, I was just sitting like do nothing when they were doing this. So I was just sitting there and watch. And at one point during one of the times that we were playing this song, or I should say they were, Mike dropped his drumstick. Now, if you hear Mike, you hear the drumsticks. They're going all fucking everywhere. His hands were just flying. And he dropped his drumstick during one of the practices. And I watched him lean back. And he's still playing. He's not missing a goddamn thing. His arm's just literally a blur at this point. Literally, you cannot see anything that bears a resemblance to an arm. Because it's flying all over the kit. And he's reaching back, going like this, because he didn't have like the drum kit thing. Yeah, so he's just trying to find a fucking his drumstick. And I was cracking up. And I couldn't do anything for him, because I'm literally like, we were in this little corner of a basement, probably about, maybe about the size of this. But I don't think it was even this big. I think it was probably maybe 3/4 of this. And so it's like you got Drew and Len were not small people. Like they're big. Like Drew's, you know, big old like Norwegian dude. Like I mean, and yeah, we're all crammed in pretty tight. So there's no way I was getting back there. Just so funny to watch, like, so he didn't miss a goddamn thing, and I was just, I bust out laughing the second the song ended. Because, I mean, I was just fucking blown away by it. It's amazing. I really want to get down. Mike does like it's part of drum and pipe corps, and I really want to get down at some point where he's doing something, get to see him. I mean, like we just visited with him, but I mean that's not the same thing. I really want to see it, like him and Joe play and stuff. He recorded once or twice on YouTube. You know, I had a channel going with a few of his drums, but he stopped doing it. Actually, on more than one occasion before my breakdown, I would actually turn it on just to calm me down. Just listen to him play drums. And then, what's next? We're getting near the end, so I know that. Oh, okay, this is the blank track. Okay, yeah, so this is just like 2 minutes of silence. And then, there's no reason to keep it going. Ready? And this is, we had an outtake track. That's true. Nah. Wait.
Shit, no.
Nah.
No, cut it.
Fuck it.
That's like where we were.
Boom, 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 boom. So Mike cut that all by himself. He surprised us with that one on the album. He surprised us one too. This is great. I'm the fire starter. Ow! I'm probably going to beg for forgiveness after airing this. Sit still. No. Stop me, I don't care. No, not there, stupid. It's a fan, I can't sit still. Demo in the skies. Now, I mentioned on here a few times, I've been playing that game House Flipper like crazy. I gotta say, I was laughing out loud when I got to the, it's a house that holds a secret, if you guys know what that one is. I don't want to spoil it, but for someone like me, I was cracking up. And that thing's worth a lot more than $53,000, just pointing that out. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. See, Mike had found on this, the one program, whatever he did this on, that he could actually like control the pitch without changing the tempo and vice versa. So he was just fucking around with that like crazy. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was the Jumping Cow All-Stars self-titled first record and only record. That will be coming to stores never, ever. Let's see, what? I guess it was probably about 98. So we're like the 20-year anniversary. I don't know, I should talk to the guys. So we're about a 20th anniversary edition of an album that no one ever heard of. Well, we sold one to some dude in like Indiana. Again, you know, because like MP3.com was only something where I don't think you could actually charge for the MP3s at the time, but you could like set it up so that people could buy your album through it. If, like, and we, like I said, we just had some people listen to a few things, and Pendulum was like the top track. Remember that? See, unfortunately, like I said, like the other night, like this was already starting to dry a little bit on me, causing me a little bit of an issue here. Because I like it to still be a little wet for at least a little while. Yeah, it's funny. I think Lou, who commissioned this, might be traveling. I thought I saw something the other day where he's posted like a plane shot, like. So I don't even know if he'd been able to see this. Hopefully he doesn't mind me doing like this crazy like sky thing going on here. I really wanted to do something wild and except fresh and. You know, like I said, it was pouring rain when I took my reference photo here. Ah, damn it, that's what I didn't do again. Ah, fuck. One of these days I'll get good at this. I swear to God, just like I keep saying, one of these days I'll get good at fucking Rocket League. It hasn't happened yet. I haven't played in fucking weeks. I haven't touched it. Like, I guess there was some sort of, like, golden egg thing going on. I guess it was supposed to be, like, cool, and I missed it, but whatever. Maybe I'll get back into it soon. I was thinking I should probably get back into at least practicing and doing like a few like unranked matches just to. All right, Twitch. Hey, hey. All right, there's the reference picture. Keep forgetting in case anybody ever wants to paint along. Let me see here. Is he live? Catch up in here. Alright, go Leroy Jones. Alright, that was his name, right? Or was it Johnson? I forget. I do gotta mute you, Fresca, because it's like I'll start hearing it in my head and I'm gonna go, what the shit? Did you guys hear the scream from my son? I hope no one's murdering him. I don't think so. I'm like 95% sure no one's killing him. And maybe they're doing it in a game, that's probably why he's doing that, but I'm like 95%. And I mean, look, worst case scenario, I'll make another one look just like him. Father of the Year. Anyway. It's kind of true. My family's, like the Coates, like, gene is tough, man, to, like, you know, if you guys remember the old Bill Cosby himself thing, I mean, now look, obviously some of that, his reputation is extremely tarnished, rightfully so. But, you know, Bill Cosby himself, he talks about how, you know, his father used to threaten him, like, you know, don't lie to me, boy, you know, I'll make another one look just like you or whatever, like that, something like that. I don't remember the exact connotation of the joke, but I used to kind of semi-threaten my daughter with the same thing, but I would tell her that I don't even have to do it. Your Uncle David could do it. Because my niece and my daughter, especially in their youth, I mean, they still do really, but like when they were little, they looked like sisters. And it was just so funny. It was like, you know, and if you look at pictures of my son, say, like his first day of kindergarten, and you look at my father's first day of kindergarten, you look at my brother's first day of kindergarten, you look at my first day of kindergarten, I mean, if I took the colors out so that way you couldn't tell, like, you know, obviously my father's photos were black and white. You know, he was old. He is old. Yeah, that was, but you know, it was a long time ago. He's not watching. What do I care? He's not gonna hear it. My mother won't even tell him. Anyway, even if she watches. But if you were to look at those photos, you know, like I said, I take all the determining factors out of it that you can tell when the photo was taken, and you wouldn't know. You would not know which one was which. I remember my father showing me a photo of him when he was an older boy, and I was little at the time. I mean, I was probably, you know, I might have been 10. And it's a photo of my dad as an older boy, and I sat there and I looked at him, when the hell was Dave an older boy? And Dad goes, it's me, not your brother. Like, what? Doesn't make any sense. So it is nice to sort of threaten my children, like I said, that brought you in this world, I'll take you out. I'll make another one look just like you. was actually, remember telling her that, saying that, well, it's telling a story to my wife, sort of, but it was something that, like, literally my daughter had just kind of reminded me of, my oldest. Um, she had posted something on Facebook about like a kid just hanging out with somebody else's grandmother. Says that the kid comes and checks on her all the time, makes sure she's taking her medicine and stuff, multiple times a day or whatever, and she's just like, and my daughter reminded me about how when we were living in an old apartment building, there was an older woman that sat like out in the step area or whatever, and I would go over there and sit there and talk to her and hang out with her, all the time. And then one day, I made a comment about the fact that there were some ambulances out there, and then Allie says to me, "Oh, they're taking my friend away on the ambulance thingy," I mean the stretcher. And I was like, "Your friend?" And I looked out and I was thinking, like, I was expecting, like, at the time she hung out with like one of the little boys next door, and it's like, I'm thinking that's who she's talking about, or there's another girl there that she sometimes would play with, but I'm like, they weren't really close, and it was like, maybe her. And I look out and there's an older woman. She goes, "Yeah, I sit on the steps sometimes and talk to her." I was like, oh. And it's just funny because the way I'm talking about it, I realized that, I give a lot of jokes about Sophia and the way she delivers stuff sometimes. But Allie used to do the same exact way, so just the mannerisms. Like, sort of like nonchalant, like, "Yeah, it's my friend out there. Yeah, yeah." That was a unique apartment building for us. Like, compared to where any of the places we've lived, even like here, truth be told, it's like, just that apartment complex, even though, like, at the time, there's under new management now, and they're, like, actually, like, really nice looking apartments and everything. I think they primarily aim towards, like, an older crowd, so we wouldn't have, like, nowadays would not be probably easily accepted into it. But since my wife and I were like a couple with a kid, even though, like I said, it was my kid, it wasn't her per se, but, they, but they all, like, were very, like, everybody was kind of, like, for the most part, watching out for each other. There were little incidents, like, every time it snowed, it was always a pain in the ass for parking. I one time shoveled out, like, probably 6 parking spots before I eventually ended up stealing someone's, because I was like, I kept coming home and my parking spot would be gone. I kept coming home, my parking spot would be gone. So finally I was just like, it was like one day when I was working extra late and I was just tired, and I was just like, I'm not pulling in and shoveling out another goddamn spot. So I just pulled into one, and somebody left a real angry note on my car. And I was like, dude, like, I basically sent back a note like, go fuck yourself. Like, I shoveled out so many fucking parking spots here today. Like, half the people parked on our side should have been, like, sending me fucking cookies, Like, the fact that I took your spot, but you probably found another spot, is probably a spot I'd already dug out. Like, you know what I mean? Alright, it's getting there. It's getting there. I think we need to flesh out a little more with like the paler tones, like maybe right in here. There's a couple spots I think I want to pull it back a little using some of these tones. Just to give like a little separation. Might need some of the darker blue too, just to really make it pop, but like little spots where you just like kind of toss it right back on top. See, I like this because I always like this idea that, like, look, I can paint, you know, still landscape. And this is the clouds as they looked at that exact moment, and the clouds, and this is how they are, you know, in a very way. But, like, I don't like that. Like, I want to show that, like, here, you know, like I said, this is, you know, stormy day. Like, this was like crazy stormy day. I mean, there were parts when we were driving back home where I couldn't even fucking see, you know, because the rain was so fucking heavy and stuff. So it's like I want to capture that. I want to capture the fact that shit's blowing in, blowing out. It's fucking in your face. It's, you know, kicking your ass. Now it's gonna leave you for a second and think you're okay. Now you're gonna beat your ass again. You're like, that's the type of thing that I want to show. I like to do that with these, like I said, anytime I get a cloud formation type stuff, you know, in the painting, be it dark storm clouds or just like, you know, like nice sunny day, nice little, you know, it should be fluffy white clouds and, you know, happy little trees. And, you know, I like to make it like so it feels like it's moving. You know, I can't make movement. But I want you to feel it. If that makes sense. I will say this. In the early part of the year, like right after New Year's, I had a dream, and I really wish that I had been a little healthier, and I might have been able to do something with that damn dream. But I had like this dream where it was like, it was what I do, but like cranked the fuck up to like 11. It was like there was stuff going on, like literally like I would close my eyes. I was literally closing my eyes in the dream, right? And when I close them, I could still see everything. It was very like Matrixy like, where, you know, like if you think about when, you know, Keanu becomes the one and you can see all the fucking numbers sliding down as he's looking at the whole graphic thing. It was kind of like that, but everything was still in color, and it was all in little dashes, all moving and gyrating and flowing around. And it was like, fuck, I was like, I really wanted to do that. But unfortunately, what caused the dream was an incredibly bad fever, because I'd gotten that, whatever type virus it was, like the flu virus was this year, like the really nasty fucker. Like, that's what I had gotten. And so I was sick as a dog. It was like 2 weeks before I could even come into the studio, because I mean, even when I got better, I wasn't better. You know what I mean? Like, I actually had, like a bronchitis flare-up afterwards, like, you know, or something like that. Like, I couldn't breathe properly. You know, my wife and I both were bedridden for like 2 days. We're both just laying up there, and the kids were fine. So we felt terrible, because quite literally, we really couldn't take care of our children. Like, we did whatever we could, you know, when we could. So it was like, okay, guys, we're going to get you some breakfast now. But beyond that, you know, like we're going down, like covering our mouths and stuff, trying to make sure that they're not getting anything else from us. And it's like, you know, okay, all right, we are going back upstairs, and, you know, try to avoid us if, you know, if you can, you know. Don't go asking us for silly things. You can ask us through the door if you want candy or whatever, and, you know, you can get it yourself. Like, we really need you to be where you can reach things, you know. That's like a horrible way to, like, feel. You know, I joke around all the time about trying to get rid of my kids, but the reality of it is, like, I would not want to do that to them, you know. But it was like, if they were exposed to us, they were going to get it too. And that beat our ass, man. I didn't want to picture my kids with that fucking thing. They're whiny enough as is. I didn't need them getting sick like that. And the downside of it too, like, you know, okay, my wife and I were thinking, well, we're here, we can, you know, maybe we can watch some TV or something. Nah, you don't even watch TV. Like, whatever you put on, it's just there to, like, be noise, you know? Like, you're not watching shit. You're not going to be able to watch, you know, Game of Thrones or anything you have to pay attention to, because that thing was just so fucking terrible. Like, so that was not a fun time. Like I said, it pissed me off because by the time I was healthy enough to try to remember what my dream was, it was gone. So if there was anything I could have done out of that dream, I lost it. And every time I try to think about it, you know, it's like it's not even like half a memory, you know. It's like just something in the distance, like at best. That sucks. So I hope they're able to see this. Alright, now that that album's done, unfortunately I am musicless, and I don't like being musicless. What time we got? 9 o'clock. Alright. So it's good. Anybody out there talking? I want to hear something. Anybody else get that shitty flu virus this year? I'm telling you, it's fucking terrible. The first day I had it, my wife had gotten it too, but she tried to struggle on through work. Wait, make sure it's not like... It's not coming through here, right? Okay. And then she came home that day and was like, I feel like crap. I'm not going to school tomorrow. I'm like, okay. But I was actually like, I never got out of my basement. Like I went downstairs to hide because I figured it was the safest place where I could lay down, pass out. Like, you know, when the kids came home from school, like my mother got them, you know, that day and stuff. It's like they can stay upstairs. I mean, I took my son away from his video games. Yeah, but I was like, I could put on Netflix, just fucking relax and not even deal with anybody. And I watched the Toys That Made Us, and I should say watched because I fell asleep like 3 times during it. And to show you how bad this was, I mean, I am a Star Wars nerd and a half, and I fell asleep during the Star Wars part. I wake up and they're talking about Barbie and stuff. I was like, wait, I missed something. I haven't watched season 2 yet, and season 3 I think is either out or due out like any day now. Like it's actually, they're pretty quick with season 3. I gotta get into that again. Season 2 looked good. But I want to watch it with my kids because I think Hello Kitty's part of season 2, and I think Sophia especially would dig that. Oh, let's see how this looks to you guys. It doesn't look too bad. And what I think I might do is I had a little touchdown here earlier, not touchdown, like, but when I had been playing with this earlier, like last night or whatever, when I was putting in the lighter tone, where I touched a little bit of the olive green, it popped in there. And what that did was it kind of created like a not yellowish green, like, you know what I mean? Like it's probably a horrible way to try to explain that. But I think if I throw a little bit of that in there, like into these lighter areas, it might actually work pretty well. And give me some more variety besides just trying to throw in like some white, you know, to like, I think it'll give me a little extra, a little kick there. it'll make the greens later on, and the other parts of it make a lot more sense. I think that's why I'm losing, like, up here. Like, this doesn't feel right up there. Because I think it's like it's fine when it's in the darker tones, but that it's by itself up there, it's kind of off. And I mean, I can fix it a little bit. I don't mind it being there, like, slightly, but it's just too much right now on its own. I was thinking today, I gotta get back to the art museum. First off, I renewed my membership at the end of June. And, I mean, like, it's not expensive as an artist. They do, like, $40 for the year. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's groovy. But, like, at the same point, I'm a dude who really does not like this. Like, I'm such a cheap bastard. So it's like, I spent money on it. I gotta use it. Like, I gotta get in there at some point very soon, and because I spent money on it. Just trying just a little bit of just cobalt with that. Like, mixing in a little bit, just to see what we get. I think it's going to be like a nice little touch. I don't think it's going to be something I want a lot of. But it's a nice little, like, this little companion piece. Still don't know what to talk about. Alright, so let's see. Let's see what else I could talk about today. I was watching the Cinema Sins about Justice League Dark today. And it's not that I can disagree or agree or disagree with that, their assessment on it, because truth be told, I have not actually seen Justice League Dark, the animated movie, yet. But I need to point out the fact that, like, Matt Ryan, who played Constantine on the short-lived TV show, and now is still playing Constantine, that same Constantine, on Legends of Tomorrow now for the next season. He's the voice of Constantine in Justice League Dark. And I pointed out to a coworker that I talk with all the time, like, dude, how fucking perfect has he been as Constantine? Like, I mean, obviously DC took notice because, Warner Brothers has taken notice that he really is, like, ideal for the part, and they just didn't get the hit with the show that they wanted out of it. But they still feel like he should be Constantine. I mean, fans must have had a good deal of help with that because, I mean, fans did write in that, like, like, keep Constantine, bring him to CW, all that stuff. Like, there was all sorts of trying to save the show if they were fans of the show. Yeah, but it just got a bad time slot on Friday night at, like, 10 o'clock or something like that? Like, I couldn't even stay up to watch it. I was exhausted, and then I kept forgetting about it on demand because I don't really do a lot of TV anyway. So I'd always forget about to put it back on demand, and then I'd miss a few episodes because Verizon's on demand thing only allows you like 3 or 4 episodes at best, and it's like, well, I have to pay for it. I keep meaning to go back on Netflix and finish watching it because I did like what I saw. I mean, you had Michael from Lost. I mean, yeah, it was just it was a good cast. I really did think they were quite good. I guess the girl from the pilot didn't work out because I kicked her off like immediately. Like, oh, she's very important. You know what? She's gone. But I just think I think he's great as him. And I was like thinking about it. I'm like, man, can you imagine if they had gotten like instead of doing it on ABC or whatever the hell it was, CBS, or I guess it was CBS, right? 'Cause it was still CW type show, but if they'd gotten that like on, you know, not yeah, well, Netflix like original, or if they'd gotten it on, like HBO, Showtime, something like that, and they were able to just fucking let loose. Oh god, that show would have been so good. You could have put it on at a different time slot, most certainly. And I think having the ability, if they had the ability to do like legitimate, like horror elements of it, like without being network TV horror elements of it, I think I would have remembered it a little more often. Let's put it that way. It's like to hit it on demand. I'm not a huge horror guy per se. Like, let's put it this way. Like, I don't like slashers, like or gore for gore's sake type horror films. If that makes sense. Like, I'm not a Freddy Krueger guy or a Jason guy or anything like that, because like to me it's like, dude, I want to be suspended. That's what I really like. I like suspense more than I like scary horror. And it really, even like I said, the slasher stuff isn't even like scary horror. It's just like, it's gore porn. You know what I mean? Like the worst episodes of The Walking Dead for me are the ones where they do, like they pull that bullshit. Instead of actually worrying about the story and the characters, or going for a legitimate reason, say for a character to die in a kind of gruesome way. Like, what was the episode where I think it was like the guy who played, it was the kid who played Chris and Everybody Hates Chris, got like stuck in like a spinning door or whatever, and so the zombies are like tearing him apart, like half in and half out. Like the way they did that one was just like, it's like, dude, it's not necessary. Like, I don't know, it was just like, oh look, we want to show people that zombies eat things. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, and maybe it's because I'm like a fan of the comic, and the comic necessarily got to a point where it was like, they're just there. Like, like they're not even like a threat anymore. Like, the walkers are just like a thing, And I mean, yes, once the Whisper War starts, it's a little different, but like they really were for quite a long time. Like, just sort of a like thing that was drawn in the background, like, and yeah, the threats were always the people, and that's the part I always dug. Yeah. It was, what the hell's Negan gonna do, not necessarily what the hell the zombies are doing. Like, who gives a shit what the zombies are doing? That's why, like I said, I think the show's over. They can say that otherwise, they can do all the promotional bullshit they're trying to do, but the reality of it is you're losing Rick, you lost Carl, and really, the story in the comics has always been Rick and Carl. And if the comics kill off Rick and Carl, guess what? I'm done with the comic too. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm a few behind on my graphic novels, so maybe they did. I don't know. But if I get to that point and I find that, I'm done. Because that's the story to me. And so if you take that story away, it's like, well, then there's nothing. Name it something else. Do something else. I said it the other night about, like, if AMC decided to make a new Walking Dead with, Daryl and, the guys, and, like I said, and they call it Survive the Walking Dead. I mean, they could literally just keep it going and just call it something else, but because you're calling it The Walking Dead, just straight The Walking Dead. To me, it's the comic, and that's not the comic if you've gotten rid of Rick and Carl and, like the literal main story elements. Though admittedly, I would not want them to have like Negan, because to me that was the best part of like the post-war, all that war was Carl and Negan, and Rick and Negan. Like that was some good shit. I mean, if you like The Walking Dead for the zombies and all, I guess, I mean, more power to you. Like, but damn, that comic, like the stories and the character development is always my thing. Buddy on the mothership. I am the mothership connection. Down in 3D. Like you groovy. If you notice, it's just nobody but me and the boys. Down. If you're hearing any noise, it's just me and the boys. Hit me. You gotta hit me bad. And you're trying to dip in your hip and come on to the mothership. Spooky. Over here. If you're hearing any noise, it's just me and the boys. Hit me. You gotta hit me bad. In the middle of the party, y'all. Listen. Your memory banks forgot about this one. If you're hearing any noise, it's just me and the boys. Hit me. Play funk. The bomb. If you're hearing any noise, it's just me and the boys. Hit me. You got it in 3D. So groovy that I dig me. Still one of my favorite lines. Sunglasses here so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, party in the mothership. Yeah, and in the mountain. You just pay and well, but hit me bad. Have overcome. Am here. Swing low, sweet cherry, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Are you hip to Easter Island? The Bermuda Triangle? Hey! Right. But a party. Oh. There. Seems of the universe. Bring for you the good times. Mothership. I still have to get down to the African American Museum in the Smithsonian just so I can see the mothership. That's just like a must do for me at some point. I know there's like tons of other great stuff in there, but like that's like a huge draw for me. And in the eyes, it's just me and the boys. Yeah, I won't lie. Like, it's funny. I went and saw George Clinton in February, and I kind of want to see him again. I'd like to have my wife go with me, or somebody go with me. Somebody I could party with. Last time I went by myself. I mean, I don't mind going by myself, but it's better if you can have someone to party with. Here and in boys, it's just me and the boys. Hit me. You gotta hit me bad. If you ain't any noise, it's just me and the boys. Hit me. You gotta hit me bad. No, I won't lie. As much as there is stuff on here, I don't know if I'm gonna get this done today. Like I was hoping, obviously not the painting. I wasn't planning to get the painting done, but I was hoping to get the majority of the. I mean, I guess the majority of it will be done, but I was hoping to finish the sky, and I just don't think I'm gonna get there. Let's move on. By you, groove. Head of your time. Be mine. Come fly. On the mothership. On the mothership. That's right. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. In the wee small hours of the morning, while the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake and think about the girl and never ever think of counting sheep. When your lonely heart has learned its lesson, you'd be hers if only she would call. In the wee small hours of the morning, that's the time you miss her most of all. And here's where it gets kind of crazy when you think about sometimes, like for me, as a married man, when I think about this song, the reality of it is that I will think actually at like very early in the morning, like, you know, late at night or whatever, like, you know, 2, 3 in the morning, I might wake up. I actually will miss my wife at that time. And you're like, what the hell? Like, she's literally laying right next to me. But see, if I try to get, like, usually it's actually because I've, like, woken up with a nightmare or something like that. And if I try to squeeze over and put my arm around her or something, I get the shake. That's what getting married for this long has done. Like, okay, we're no longer, you know, dating in our 20s and we stay awake literally all night because though we pretend to be asleep because we're holding each other, neither one of us can actually sleep that way. And so you guys were gonna think like I was gonna be like, oh, an old crush from my child. No, nope. I'll miss my wife like she's laying right next to me sometimes. And not like in like a you know, like tragic, like Hollywood, you know, where the couple's about to split or like, no, it's just like literally like, you know, I really would like to just grab you right now, but I know that it's not gonna work. You got work tomorrow, I got work tomorrow. I'll just deal with it. I'll go back to what I was talking about, because again, I'm trying to keep myself entertained, and hopefully one day somebody will tune in and hear me jabbering on and think, hey, this is boring. Now, like I was saying about horror films earlier, and the Walking Dead stuff, like, as I said, I really prefer, like, you know, I'm not like a horror guy, like I said. I like monsters to a degree, you know, so that's like, I'm not, like I said, I'm not like the gory slasher shit. Like, that's just not me. Like, Hostel was like it's just disturbing. It's not horror to me. I mean, it's creepy, it's freaky, like everything they do, but like, you know, it's demented, but it's not necessarily scary to me. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Hostel at least borders, because it's like, well, that's just like, it's almost plausible that rich fucks would do that. You know, they get bored with everything else, so they start killing people. But what I was looking forward to, and I don't know if it's happening now, was how they were playing up the New Mutants movie as like a horror movie. But I was hearing rumors that this may in fact be canceled now. That they may in fact have shut down. Somebody said both Dark Phoenix and or the Phoenix Saga, or whatever the hell they're calling it, and New Mutants, but it seems like New Mutants really might be on the chopping block, and that's kind of sad. I was really looking forward to that. Because the girl playing Magic, she was the girl from Split, and she was really good in that. And, you know, I don't know, I just like that take on, like, an X-Men property was like, you know. And what's his name? From Stranger Things was Sam Guthrie, right? It was Cannonball. So that was another one. And he had Maisie Williams as Wolfsbane. Like, I was all excited. It was like, that's a good cast. It was a unique take on them. I mean, like, there is like, I guess like the issue it's based on was kind of already like very horror elemented, you know. But as I recall, not a lot of those issues were. Now, admittedly, I didn't start collecting New Mutants, unfortunately, until the Liefeld era. And most of my New Mutants collection was basically because you had Cable's introduction, you had, you know, Sunspot, Gideon, Deadpool, like all these guys being introduced, and it's like, oh, I gotta get these ones. Before anyone asks, they all died on me. All my good fucking comics died on me, like in them. Cause I had the first issue with Deadpool. Remember that? Deadpool before he was Deadpool. Because anybody can say whatever the hell they want regarding it, but if you actually go back and read the old Deadpool comics, like, and not, I shouldn't say old Deadpool comics, but like X-Force, you know, New Mutants when he first, like, you go watch, read those books. That ain't that's not the Deadpool you know now. The Deadpool you know now It's from the creative teams that happened after all that. So that's why, like, I get almost like mildly offended when like they keep calling Rob Liefeld like the creator of Deadpool. It's like, okay, yeah, he created a guy with, you know, big black circles where his eyes should be and lots of swords on his back, and that's about where it stops. Because the writing originally for Deadpool was terrible. The whole, I mean, they didn't have really any idea what the hell they were doing with him. They were just sort of all over with him when they first came out. It's like, you know, he wasn't popular. It wasn't until they started figuring out, like, hey, let's make him like, you know, fucking cuckoo, and we'll have him like have like multiple voices in his head and stuff like that. Stuff that really wasn't part of that book at all, part of the character at all, until much later. And then it became great. I mean, some of those Deadpool issues, like, just were phenomenal. But let's put it down. Some new shit. Some new shit. See me putting it down. I'm the hottest round. You can stop me now. You've been to me now. I've been 20 rounds. And if you want me, you come on right with me now. Let's do it with me now. Big it bounce. Speak it now. Hello! Sing around. Now people jump around. Now people jump around. Is he gone? I jumped the gun on that one, sorry. On, jump your freak on. Get 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 your freak on. Who's that, bitch? You know, they've been houses 20 years ago. So Leo, know what the drillio? Let me know. Fit it down. Let me see you some. What you got there? So I'm gonna run. So we got a gun. Go on. Get your freak 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 on. Why, yeah? Shut your mouth. Silence when I spit it out. In your face. Move your mouth. Give you a taste. Hello. Don't copy me. Copywritten, so don't copy me. Uh-oh. Sloppily. Close to me. So you freaking now. I know you feel me now. Not proud. Is he gonna put it down? Is he gonna down? Now, part of me wants to make sure that there's a nice little touches of violet around here, if for no reason than the fact that the house is yellow. I mean, I know that sounds just so stupid and plain, but the fact of the matter is that, you know, it's playing with those complementary colors like that that really gives some of the stuff some pop. Like, if you go digging through the archives, actually, I don't know if they're on here anymore. You'd have to go through my YouTube channel, I think, where I talk about, like, you know, when I was talking about art, and yeah, just in general, and I posted photos of like my my tulips, or you can go on my Society6.com store and you can find them there because there's lots of prints and shit too. Just FYI, Society6.com/Menaceart. I am a whore. Anyway, dude, I just want to be able to like do this. That's all. Feels like it shouldn't be that much to ask. Just love the paint. Anyway, you know, the thing that makes that painting work is the fact that it's bright reds against, greens. Like, it sounds stupid and simple, but I did some taiko drums tonight. My eyes bother me suddenly. Looking at my own shit, I guess, right? Drop your glasses, shake your asses, face screwed up like you having hot flashes. Which one? Pick one, this one classic. Red from blonde, yeah, bitch, I'm drastic. Why'd I lips stop asking? Listen to me, baby, relax and start passing. Expressway, head back, weaving through the traffic. Strong should be labeled as a hazard. It's like I'm gassing. So I spot him and I can't stop laughing. Easy come, easy go, easy gonna be lasting. But see, let it go, results could be tragic. Too concerned with fashion. Giselle, in the bench. Hollywood, drama, past it. Bitch, hammer off, well shit, blast. If I had to give you more, it's only been a year. But I got my foot through the door, and I ain't going nowhere. It took a while to get me here, and I'm gonna take my time. Don't fight that good shit in your ear. Now let me blow your mind. Bang 'em, bang 'em. Bang 'em, bang 'em, back to me. Maybe gritting your teeth, frustration, baby, you got to breathe. Take a lot more than you to get rid of me. I do what they can't do, I just do me. If you're gonna lab pen and pad, don't believe. Scrape my own rhymes. That's hard to find. Sophomore, I ain't scared, one of a kind. All I do is trying to play the chase, hide. It's my stomach wishing I wrote your rhyme. If I had to give you more, it's only been a year. But I got my foot through the door, and I ain't going nowhere. It took a while to get me here, and I'm gonna take my time. Don't fight that good shit in your ear. Now let me blow your mind. Bones crack, your face drop, I can't stop. Excitement, shot from the cash route. Plugged out, I respect the cash route. Sex while I mash out. Mash out, B-R-E. Backtrack, make that E-V-E. You got to, I know you. Even show you, take you with me. Turn you on, get you gone, get you relief. Take me down, red, pop on. Ride or die, bitch, wrap it off, came strong. If I had to give you more, it's only been a year. But I got my foot through the door, and I ain't going nowhere. It took a while to get me here, and I'm gonna take my time. Don't fight that good shit in your ear. Now let me blow your mind. My wife did not find it as funny as I did today. We had one of the higher ups. Yeah, it's like it's my boss's boss is boss. Okay, it's a couple layers up, And I keep stepping on my damn cord, which is also underneath my chair. Anyway, he was in just visiting the office. And typically how this goes is he comes in and he runs into one of the rooms, and that's about all the major input anybody has with him, unless you go actively seeking him out, which I do not. But anyway, so he calls us all over. He wants to have what they call stand-up meeting, because we don't have an office where we have like a big meeting room anymore. That's part of the new design, to eliminate meeting rooms. So we're, okay, we're all standing there, and he starts talking about how, just so you guys are aware, you might have heard rumor mills about restructuring, and we're like, and I told her, I said, in my head, I'm going, we're closing this office, we're all laid off. We're closing this office, we're all laid off. Like, come on, baby, daddy needs a time off. And she's like, well, you still have to get a job. I'm like, well, you know what? I was like, if I got laid off and I got can get unemployment, and they give us some sort of, here we're closing our building, here's some money, get the hell away from us type thing. I was like, it might be like a week or two before I really start trying to get a job. So I may just stream for a little bit and give you guys like some 8-hour sessions that you guys can never show up at. See, I don't know whether that would be better or worse. Like right now, like, okay, there's 40 minutes left. I've had like 2 viewers. But if I was on here longer, would people be more likely to be like, oh, well, I'm just floating around, and oh, okay, you know what, I'll watch this. I don't know. I try to be consistent at least. That's the one thing I try to aim for. At least I'm on here when I say I'll be on here. Sometimes my computer likes to try to prevent that. I mean, like tonight it was like, oh, I gotta do an update for the OBS. Sorry, you can't use it. Ha. But then I got done and it was like right before I was really supposed to go on, like. And I still got on, I guess, a little bit early, but. Lying to your face again. Suicidal liaison. Think about it. On the phone now. What it take to get it through to you, precious? Knowing this, why you want to throw it away like this? Such a mess. I don't want to watch over this. Disconnect and self-destruct one moment at a time. What's your rate? Everyone will have his day to die. If you choose to pull the trigger, such a drama, prudence here. Do it somewhere far away from here. Alright, so tomorrow's Friday, right? So we're not streaming tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to get done at all tomorrow, because it's always one of these days where I can't figure out what's going to happen. Like, it used to be easier when I work from home. It's like, okay, well, I can go right out from working, when I close off at 5, I can run out real quick, and I can, like, mow the lawn or something like that. Like, shit that needs to get done. That's why I can get it done earlier than I can right now. So I'll take a look at that. That doesn't look too bad right there. That's interesting though. As I look at it through the terrible camera, full screen, this makes me want to think about maybe changing the way I've been doing this a little bit. Not that I'm changing my patterning or anything like that. My eyes bother me. It really is bothering me. But I'm wondering if I need to make some more of that kind of mid-tone and expand that even farther, so that really this lighter tone is our highlights. You know what I mean? Like, so like these areas up here would really be like the highlight areas of the clouds and everything, like, you know, and only having a few of them as they layer on top of each other. And then, like I said, like as I look in this area here, it's one of the pluses I guess I did run into with this whole. I don't know. I really got to adjust this contact here. This is bothering me like terribly. Feels like something blew in my eye. Yeah, but if I look at this area, I look at this area. You know, even to a degree up here, because of having this bad camera, it actually is causing an effect that allows me to kind of do what I want my viewers to do when they see a painting of mine, which is kind of just like get in there, look at the details when you can, and unfortunately you can't with this camera, and I don't know if you ever will be able to really, with even if I get a better one. It'll be a little better, but as I said, you can't see a painting until you've seen it. But it also, like, then I want you to like step back and like kind of blur your eyes a little bit, and that's what this is kind of doing, and it's making it so that I can see the shape and form a little differently. And I like that. So now we got to think about. I think I may want to do that, and I'm not talking a whole dramatic, you know, amount here. I'm not talking like I'm going to redo like all that space. It's just that I think there's enough that needs to be done. If I mix some more of this up, that it'll work out quite nicely. The trick is just making sure I have enough of balance between the two colors and the chromium. So I might need to throw some more titanium white. I could probably grab from over here if I need to. Or hell, even like a third tone, you know, between those or whatever, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily too much of a difference. Got soul. There's a story. A story never been told. You know, the blues had a pregnant, and they named the baby rock and roll. I've since said it. You know the blues got soul. You know the blues got soul. Well, the blues got a baby, and they named the baby rock and roll. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Like, it's just like, you know, as I think about like this area, like maybe just, I see it's still not quite there. It's gotta get a little darker, right? Just a little bit. I'll take a little bit of that too. Yeah, let's just take a chunk of that too. It's already the main color, but it's just crank it up a little bit. Crank it. Donna Wood has said it. You know the blues got soul. Queen Flock said it. You know the blues got soul. Well, the blues had a baby, and they named the baby rock and roll. So I wonder, does anybody ever go into this type of state where like Muddy Waters got added to my playlist and stuff like that because I was kind of going through a place where I wanted to hear new old music. Does that make any sense? And again, it'd be really helpful if there was people's interacting. But like I was at a place where, I was like, all right, look, everything that I have in my music collection, I've had for the most part years. I mean, there were a couple newer bands, but that weren't that old, but I'd already exhausted them just by listening. Yeah, it was like, oh, I got new music, and I just exhausted the shit out of it quickly. And look, there's a point which I have to admit that, I'm not a young dude anymore, so, you start to hit a point in your life where you always start to just kind of fall back on music you're comfortable with, that you grew up with, whatever, but, I was trying to sort of accept that, but in a different way. So I was looking for, like I said, new old music to listen to. And so there was a lot of stuff that maybe, people had recommended to me years ago, but at the time, you could only have so many CDs, however much space you had. You could only carry so many with you in the car before you have to tell people they can't sit there because it's holding your CD collection. We were barbaric back then. Feeling unknown and you're all alone, flesh and bone by the telephone. That's why I have to be honest. I'm going to say this because it needs to be said. It cracks me up. I know that there's an inherent danger with fucking around with your cell phone while driving. I'm not trying to say there isn't. Okay? But the fact that there's all these laws about it and stuff to make sure that if they catch you holding your phone, you're fucked type situation. When I used to drive with it, every now and then I would have my big old, 96 CDs in front on my lap on the steering wheel, flipping through them trying to find the right one. Whereas at this point now I can tell my phone what I want it to play, but I have to kind of usually hold it near me. And I never have to take my eyes off the road to do that, Now, I get it, texting is a whole other fucking story, and that's another thing entirely. Which, for anybody that complains about, I'm going to go on to that one, too, a little bit. People will say, oh, back, in the early aughts, we had to, type, if you wanted to type, whatever, you had to hit the button 4 times, you won that S, dude, that was easy to text and drive with. And I'm just going to say that one because, again, I learned to feel the 5, little button on the 5, little nib. And then, okay, I needed, I needed JKL. Tick, 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 I never had to look at it. And I could, whatever. I will deliver, I'm a forgiver. I couldn't do a damn thing of this, I don't even, like I said, it's touch screen, I can't text while I'm, sitting at my desk and do it properly. So I don't even bother in the car at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to say that one cleanly, but it's just funny when people think about how, we were barbaric with the clamshell phones, so you had to type, hit the same number 4 times. Fuck you, that was easy. But no, I just think it's funny, there's all this stuff about, you can't have your iPad and your iPod or whatever when you're driving, and your iPhone or whatever. It's dude, you can totally do that a lot safer than what I used to do. Reach out and touch faith. But that's where like Amazon Music, you know, I'm part of it, you know, I'm a Prime member or whatever, so it's like you get Prime Music, so it's like, dude, I don't even have to spend anything extra really, and I get a bunch of music that, you know, existed before, be it either contemporary at the time that I was young, quote unquote, or stuff that was definitely influential of the stuff that I was listening to when I was young, and so I can actually listen to it now on a on-demand basis without having to invest in, like I said, all these CDs and another CD tower or another CD book to carry around with me and the waves. I try to get away, and yet I stick around. Yeah, I think this is just looking at this a little bit. Just what I've added has just been enough already to tell me I'm doing this right. Adding a little more volume, a little more oomph by actually taking it down a notch. And the inherent bass blue will assist with that too. Like I said, even though, you know, this may have a very story and kind of worldly feel type thing to it, the reality is I'm more thinking about the yellow house as an idea, you know, point of inspiration for this. And while it's not that bright, brilliant, you know, southern sky blue, southern France blue, you know, like, and yet I stick around, so fall and crawl away, and brush away loose ground. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely doing it. That's definitely doing what I want it to do. Banana, banana, na, na, na. Look, I sang your name in there. Come on, man. You guys. Are you a follower? Banana, na, na, na. I have to check. I sang your name in that. You gotta be a follower now. Them's the rules I just made up. I try to get away, and yet I stick around. So fall and crawl away, and brush away loose ground. And brush away loose ground. I do not show you over here, so say hello, banana. Banana. Come on, that's funny. All right, now carry your. That's funny right there. All right, that's really not. All right, we are going to skip this again. We've had a couple of those. It happened in Monterey a long time ago. I met her in Monterey, in old Mexico. Stars and steel guitars and luscious lips as red as wine broke somebody's heart, and I'm afraid that it was mine. It happened in Monterey, and without thinking twice, I left her and threw away the key to paradise. My indiscreet heart longs for the sweetheart that I left in old Monterey. It happened in Monterey a long time ago. I met her in Monterey, in old Mexico. Stars, guitars, lips red as wine, broke somebody's heart, and I fear that it was mine. It happened in Monterey, and without thinking twice, I left her, and I threw away the key to paradise. My indiscreet heart, how it longs for that sweetheart that I met in old Monterey. How's that looking? How's that looking? Hey, good looking. What's that cooking? Yeah, up there. Starry nights, sunny days, I always thought that love should be that way. Then comes a time when you're riddled with doubt. Your brother's fan and all your rubbed out. Ooh, ooh, baby, we've been a long, long way. And who's to say what will be tomorrow? Well, my heart says no, but my mind says so. Well, you gotta love. Is it a love? Say, we got a wham, bam, chang, and actually, you know what? It is 10 o'clock, isn't it? It's just past 10, which means my kids are going to bed. Which means I gotta go in and give them a kiss. If you knew, I know that to say, I think a little emotion goes a long, long way. Then only now, don't get caught in the dreams. Look out, baby, this is not what it seems. Ooh, ooh, baby, you've been so good to me. Please don't make it what it's not. Well, I thought we would read on what this would mean. So listen to me. I'll tell you what we got. We got a wham, bam, shang-a-lang and a sha-la-la-la-la-la thing. Wham, bam, shang-a-lang and a sha-la-la-la-la-la thing. That's Scuttle singing, I know. Alright, so let me do this. I'm gonna go here. Be right back. What I've been saying, singing, I'm playing. So I'm gonna do that. Wrong one, sorry. Some Raisinets? Get your own. I think I actually touched some birdie in there. I wasn't talking up in the air. So I think I touched some Viridian, so I might end up with a weird color up here. Just because it may be something beautiful, it may be something that has me dropping a flurry of F-bombs. I don't know. And it may have only been like a little touch, so I may have already knocked it loose when I was touching into there. Yeah, so I think I like that a lot better. I'd say now I think if I put some more of that like light violet into these lighter areas, it's actually going to work much better. And that seems like it, you know, would almost be contrary, but I think it'll make it like, okay, well now that's like your like top of the storm cloud, you know, like appearance. You know? Because see, I originally started putting it into some of the darker areas, and it's still okay there. It's going to be like more of like the light blue-gray that we were using to start, and this lighter, you know, excuse me, like lilac almost color will kind of work together now as like a unifying element for all these. Or to be a horrible disaster. Either or. It's not. There's like never in between with me. I'll tell you that. I mean, I usually find myself right with my instincts on it, but every now and then there's something where it's like, oh, I think this will be great, and then I do it, and it's like, fuck! And then it's hours and hours of backtracking or a canvas getting hurled across the floor, you know, like, or, you know, across the room. So it's like, yeah, when like I think about the conversation I had with my boss the other day regarding, I guess, like I said, when I threw my headset off and punched the computer monitor at work, whatever. Yeah, and he's asking for specifics as to why I did it and, you know, what's going on, and it's like, that's just par for the course for me. Like, I don't know what triggered it, I don't know what did it, and it's just sort of my natural reaction to this shit sometimes. They go sideways and I get punchy. I don't know what to tell you, like, I think part of it, I will say this, is in order to try to survive kind of the mental beatings that occur there, I'm regularly finding myself like trying to trigger art mode. You know what I mean? Like, I find myself trying to, like, okay, this day's going to shit in the hell, yeah, real quick. A quick Van Gogh, you know, museum website, or, you know, something like that. But you know, zone me is basically fire. Like, it can be very beautiful, but let it loose the wrong way and shit goes sideways, you know what I mean? Like, if the right shit's not in place to keep it under control, you know what I mean? I mean, like I said, I'm sure that a number of my professors wanted me locked up, you know, back then. And they almost got their wish in 2017, but they almost got it. I mean, not that any of them would have been aware of it, but just saying, they almost got their wish fulfillment. That super, super, super sucks. And then pays the porn star to be quiet about it. Oh, sorry. Maddie new lyrics to an old song. I got all year long, baby. I told you, I'm very open about my political opinions, and I'm starting to... No. No. Alright. Washed out the window with a red mosquito. I was not allowed to leave the room. I saw the sun go down, and now it's coming up somewhere in the time between. I was bitten. Must have been the devil. He was just paying me a little visit, reminding me of his presence and letting me know he's waiting. Red man's your neighbor, calling behavior while you're climbing up slippery trails. 2 steps ahead of him, punctures in your neck, hovering just above your bed. It's funny, I don't like the album versions of, say, this song, Hail Hail, hey, who I got? AWOL213, thank you for the follow, my man. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to have like a. If you look at is the link still showing up? I don't know if it's showing up on you guys' things, but I put up the link earlier of the reference picture we're doing for this for my friend's house and barn here. And it's like the storm. It was a stormy day. It was really kind of like, a normal person would call it a crappy day. But I actually dig the colors of storm clouds, and there's a lot more I think than people see normally. But I also wanted to capture the ability to, without having to do full-on rain. His wife and him don't really want it to be like a rainy, stormy picture, but I wanted to have like the ability to kind of show that off, show that movement of like the storm that is rolling and blowing through. And it was something in my mind, like I said, that Starry Night's kind of always bounced around in my head anyway, so. And if it doesn't come up, I don't know. Well, they're just roughs at this point. We haven't even gotten to them yet, really. They're just, that's all just underpainting. They're going to be there, though. I think I got some good thoughts for these. And they'll pop up. And, they're going to get going. I like to catch stuff, like, when I do trees and stuff, bushes and stuff, I try a lot to kind of make them look like they're burning. It's like it's like I find myself, because of just work and bullshit and stuff, that I'm so cut off from natural elements that when I get to paint them, it's like they're just, it's not just it's not the trees, it's like the artistic fire kind of thing going on. You know what I mean? So it's just loosen up the titanium white a little bit, just so I get a little bit. I don't want to go heavy with the titanium white in the highlighted areas, but I want it to have a little bit. Just. I'm like eggs. I'll keep saying them. I'll keep saying them. Yeah, it's unfortunate because one of the things is this camera sucks so badly. I'm still trying to. Hopefully, after this painting, I can afford to get a new one after the commission's done. But it's just that you can't see it. Like they're really thin. They're not anywhere ready yet to be foreground. Like I just wanted them roughed in a little bit before I had started on the sky last night or whatever. So I popped them in. I always kind of go like half-assed with my underpainting. Like it's like I'll do something like that, I'll just throw it in, and then like if you notice, like I didn't touch the cars or anything of that shit. It's like, I'll get there later. Sometimes I'm better about it, but this one was just like, we'll get that stuff. So. Now, do you paint or draw or anything? Yeah, if you look at if you were like right here, like the sky's not as thick as probably what I'll end up, yeah, as far as the impasto goes for most of this stuff. But right now, it's actually, yeah, thinner to the, so on a three-dimensional site in front of this painting, you're like it's almost like the trees are now going back rather than being forward. So it's like the same thing with the house and all this. This is like barely anything here as far as thickness goes. So it's gonna need to be brought up and brought forward a little bit. And then I get to thinking, oh, I don't want to think, I want to feel. Oh, how do I feel? Oh, cool. Alright, well, guess what, my man? Ooh, wait. No. Okay. You got a new follower too. Hold on. Oh, that's always so weird. I don't remember why. I gotta fix that. Sorry, it's bringing up like the Oop. Did it work? Come on, dude. Alright, there we go. Alright, cool. Bringing up Microsoft Edge instead of Chrome. Close the tabs, close the tabs. Once I refer to those that love. Up. Dig. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that, my lady, then. Truth be told, in my, like, just the way I, like, just grew up, like, I call everybody my man, it's awful. It's just, like, the instinctual bit of it, I don't know. My friend Bird would even tell you that. She's a... I guess that's the downside of online handles, you know what I mean? Just in general, you have no idea who you're talking to. I mean, unless they literally use, like, their name, you know, like... Now, I messed with some people before using, I mean, like... you know, I don't think you can glean anything out of Menaceart or anything like that, but, Oh, cool! Ah, dig. Now, you're in Philly proper? I'm technically just outside. You know, I'm Delco, so it's, as the, Casey Boys shirt says from the Preston Steve show, you know, Delco, telling people that we've been from, Philadelphia since, like, 1820 or whatever it is, you know. But I went to school in the city. I was University of Arts. No, but I messed with somebody one time because I was playing Rocket League and they were like, "You play like a girl." I was like, "I am a girl." Just to screw. Yeah, it's a girl you fall off here. I know. It's because you know what like. Let's put it this way. My wife and I and my kids were down in Williamsburg. Like what, 2 weeks ago, I guess, right? Or a week ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, yeah. And we go down there and we're at a Japanese restaurant, and the cook comes out and he asks where we're from, and we said, you know, from right outside Philadelphia, and he's like, "Oh, where from?" And we're like, "Ridley Park," and he goes, "Oh, I'm from Upper Darby. Where's Ridley Park?" It's like, okay, well, yeah, this is why we just normally tell people Philadelphia. It's like, you know. We're trying to describe it where to get, and he's like, yeah. He goes, "I was just up to see my folks." He goes, "But they're like in Wayne now," and he's like, "We just don't, you know, it's not really that area." I'm like, "Yeah, it's, you know, it's like we used to live up near that way too, but." I'll say. Now, how long ago? Now, because I'm an old head, so I mean, it was many moons ago. And I'll be honest, the staff then did not seem as groovy as the staff. Like I went and visited about a year and a half ago, just wandering around, and classes were going on, and I was listening as best I could. They seemed to be much more in tune with their students than my teachers had. But if you had people, like if you were, like when I went to school, it was like guys like Eugene Bugaskis. Jerry Nichols was cool. I always loved Jerry Nichols. I wouldn't say anything, I would never say anything about Jerry. Jerry was fucking awesome. Oh, okay. So then you got some of the newer teachers. I mean, and again, I can only say I only heard the one, but from what I saw, I'll say this: I went through the junior studios, and they were a complete mess, and I loved it because like when I went, everybody was like so fucking like meticulous about like trying to make sure everything was neat, like like just back in their place when they were done and everything. Oh, it drove me fucking nuts. Go to my studio and it was like a complete shithole, and it's like, no, this is the way it should be. I was walking through the junior studios, like I said, a year and a half ago, like that, like just barely like stepping over shit, and it was just great. I loved it. It's a good school. I will say that. I mean, like, I wish I had been more aware of the Chicago Art Institute, because I had been accepted at that, but I really didn't like. I heard Art Institute, and I was like, "Oh, it's the Art Institute. That you pay them, and they'll just accept you." Yeah, but see, I love that, man. I love that. That's when like shit's just like everybody's just focused on making shit that they're just like, whatever, I'll get to it later, and that's why I mean, you can sorta. No, it's not really okay. Right? I mean, I just sort of tossing whatever the hell everywhere, I'm just gonna. This doesn't move very well. I apologize. It's a piece of shit. I'm gonna try to just moving the camera. That'd probably be smarter. Like, just tossing shit. I got rags all over the floor. Like, I've been meaning to clean my studio for about 3 weeks now. I'll get there eventually. Dr. Davenport's still there? I think she was. Thought I looked it up, but... And she's not like... Are you going to school now, or are you just kind of taking a break? Okay. That's cool. Like if you're not forced to rush through it, you know what I mean? Like, because there is a snag with art school. I think a lot of people don't quite know about. I guess in a sense, like if the teachers aren't with you, if you're not in that real zone with them, they just suck the fun out of it, and it'll destroy the ability to create. I mean, I know a number of people that, they went to the school, and as far as I can tell, they're not working still. Like, And even like me, I've been in or out. Part of that was like when my wife and I moved in together when we first got engaged. We were living in a tiny little apartment, and I couldn't do anything. There's no way for me to, I was worried about security deposits, all that stuff, and I'm like, I can't be me and be here. So I tried to focus in at the time. I was trying to break into the comic book, industry at the time. So I was like, I'll do that instead at this point, and because pencils aren't a problem, like I don't have to worry about that. And I mean, I did a little success in that, but I didn't get anything that ever really made me money. Like I did a comic book for the Preston and Steve show years and years ago called the League of Extraordinary Stupid Gentlemen. I mean, we got a couple, issues and shit. It was pretty fun, but it was like it didn't really pan out into anything after that. Like it was a free thing. I just busted my ass for it, but yeah, exactly. And I found that people, if you're not settled in, just don't piss away the time, because so like I was just saying, like I got to know Nick McElwain from the Preston Steve show. Spent 7 years in college, because he just couldn't get his shit together. He eventually got it, but it's like, dude, you pissed away all that time and money. Figure it out on your, first. Truth be told, I wasn't even going to go to school. No, I was straight up painting. I had gone up to the 8th floor, that was it for me. I was going to go for teaching too, but while I was in the first sets of the teaching program, I kind of I started taking a philosophy class with a guy named Dr. William Webster, which I don't believe he's teaching there anymore. And as he was kind of guiding through his versions of aesthetics, and got me thinking, and he and I kind of saw eye to eye on a lot of stuff. I always saw eye to eye with the humanities teachers, and I always had problems with my professors. But he, as we were talking about, as we're starting to figure that stuff out, I kind of went, you know what? I can't be legitimately teaching people, high schoolers or college students or anything like that. I don't think I could have gone any lower than high school. To become artists if I have no idea how to be an artist. Yeah, if it was free, I'd still be in school if it was free. And much to their chagrin, I'm sure. I went back to visit about 2 years after I'd graduated, and God, who was it? I think was it Boris Putterman? Might have been Boris. I'm trying to remember who it was. One of the teachers that did not like me at all. He saw me walk down the hallway, and he peeked out of the teacher area, whatever, the 8th floor. Just looks, hey Brian, how are you? And I'm like, I'm fine. How are you? And he's like, oh, I'm good. You coming back? I'm like, no, just visiting. Oh, good. It's like, should have gone back. Anyway, just to piss him off. But no, so I dropped out of the teaching thing because I was just like, I can't be a teacher and not have done something at least, like a little something. You know what I mean? Now, I had a lot of friends that were in illustration, so I did go down to that floor a lot. But 9 times out of 10, it was just so that me and my friend Davin, who was an illustration major, we liked to screw with everybody when they were on the elevator. So we'd get on the elevator, and we wouldn't be talking to each other really, especially if there were people that didn't know us. And then he'd say, 7th floor, please. You know, and everybody knows that's or at the time that Anderson Hall was the illustration floor. I think they moved that down to the Terra building now, but so I just start like, so illustration. I want to eat when I get out of college. And then I'd say 8th floor, and then he'd start on me like, painters. I want to express my feelings, and we just sit there and like start bickering with each other, just screaming at each other, and people are like looking at us like, oh my god, like what the fuck's going on here? Like we were gonna break out X-Acto knives and start like fighting with each other. And then by the time they like got off on like their floors or whatever, they figured out like, oh, they're fucking with us. What can I say? We took inspiration from the guy I used to run past down Broad Street, and he'd oh yeah, well, anything happens there, dude. There was the guy running down Broad Street used to scream at everybody in the morning when they were out smoking cigarettes in front of the school, how he loved art, the art of war. My favorite was and he's probably not there anymore because I'm sure he died of a drug overdose. There was a crackhead who was known as the Terminator. I mean, I'd be shocked if he was still alive, but my favorite was when he was running by people during open house, because you'd have like, mom and dad there with their kid, and they're all dressed nice, and they're thinking about how nice it is at that point in the city, and then you just see this dude walk by grabbing his face and freaking the fuck out, and it's like, you just see him walk by, and you could see mom and dad's face just go, oh no, no, our kid's not going here, I thought it was great. I was a little concerned when he turned one night. I was out smoking a cigarette in front of what's that building? The YHA? Or YMHA, right? I think it's the one they bought out. Yeah. Painters were funny. The dancers were funny too, though. They always cracked me up. There's nothing like ordering, hot dogs and hamburgers down at the cart on the corner, and they're sitting there, like doing full stretch, like it's like. I saw a video on YouTube or something. It says like the way dancers do things, and it had like like walking across on a crosswalk on ballet tippy toes, and going down an escalator in full split and stuff like that. And it was like, yeah, I saw people do that. That's not even like an exaggeration. I mean, look, they're not wrong. I mean, look, I make like this is the first well, no, I shouldn't say this is the first commission I've had. This is the biggest commission I've had in a while, for sure. I mean, I've sold a few paintings over the years, but keep in mind we're talking now 20 years since I graduated, so that's not saying a whole lot. What time is it? It's just about time to cut it, though. Now, I do have to cut it. I gotta get to work in the morning, as much as I loathe it. I think we're getting there. I was hoping to finish this tonight, but it's not going to be done. Like the sky. That's all I was trying to finish. But I look forward to seeing your work. Yeah. If you're going live anytime soon, I'm not going to be able to see it, but, So, regardless, whether you go back, go somewhere else, or just figure it out on your own, just keep painting. Alright? And my goal in this, by the way, just so you know, like my goal for this painting, like for this channel, is actually I want people to paint along eventually. Whether you use the exact same thing I do, or You know, like if I'm doing a still life, you do a different still life, but and to get like conversations going about like critiquing and shit. So, if you ever feel the mood, like, and feel free to get the hell ahead of me from whatever. I know I'm slow as shit. So, have a great night, and I hope to see you soon.